Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss the seventh lesson. It will be the last lesson for you and it's going to be your homework, so please check it. And we're going to talk about the usage and technical condition of the car. What is the purpose of the car? So first of all, before you buy a car, you have to understand what is the purpose of your car. For some people it's transport purposes and for some it's matter of self-expression. So most of the students, as I know, they usually understand that they need the car for work or just for transport or for travel. So it's not necessary to buy a very expensive car to self-express yourself. But of course, if you have money, you can do that. So if you still decide to buy a car, you have to understand the purpose, which is like fuel consumption also. You have to consider it before you buy it, like how many money you waste on it, on the car generally, and so on and so on. But instead of buying a car, you should consider also transport alternatives. For example, you can use the public transport still. In Tallinn, it's quite a lot of buses and other public transport, so maybe it's not necessary to use the car in the city and to buy it for this transport. If you're a citizen of Tallinn even, so this public transport even for free. So it's not necessary to use it. Also, you can use taxis, but nowadays it's quite expensive, so maybe it's not a good solution, and that's why most of the people still use car sharing. Car sharing is much cheaper still, and it's also quite popular nowadays in Europe, in Tallinn, in Estonia. So some companies are even valid in different countries. For example, CDB also valid in Latvia or Lithuania. So you can drive between these countries using the car that you just rented in Tallinn or Estonia. So it's quite comfortable. And casual car rent, but it's not very popular now. It's also more expensive, and usually car rental companies, they request some deposit for renting the car for you, and it's not very comfortable also. So if car sharing, very simple, you just find a car, you just open it and drive. So after that you pay. So these alternatives you can consider in future, but if you still feel that you need a car, you also have to consider expenses for holding this car. Now we're going to talk about the brand new car for Škoda Octavia, and if you buy it from the official dealership, it's also very important to understand how many money you will waste generally. So first of all, you should understand that you have to collect first installment money, 15% usually. In that case it's 3,000 euros, because car costs around 20,000 euros. So payment per month, credit, it will be around 220 euros, depends for how many years you will take it. And insurance and casco. Casco also is mandatory to have, because if you take a lease or credit, this casco will be mandatory. In that case, if you buy a car like this, bank own it, so you don't own the car until you buy it fully. And that's why bank wants to ensure that this car will be safe, and that's why they request you to make this casco insurance. Fuel in month also wastement, so you have to consider this, but this price I can say is not already the real one. It's much more, because prices are going higher and higher, and nowadays it's very difficult even to follow it. So tires for both of the seasons. Some tires are very expensive. If you want to go to buy good tires, then you should consider that you will waste more money on that. But yeah, generally it's around 400 euros, sorry. And it means one tire is around 50 euros. And technical control once per year. So this is also the mandatory control, and you have to make it every year. And so generally you have to consider that you will invest, first of all, 3,000 euros, and after that you will pay 400 euros per month. So this is the car holding expenses if you buy it. Of course, if you buy the new one. If you buy the used one, it will be a little bit different. Types of the B category vehicles. Also, we have different types like sedan, universal, coupe, hatchback, and convertible car or cabriolet. So you can change the roof if you want. You can put it If you don't, you can just delete it and you can drive. So also we can add here the vans, so microbuses we can say also, or cargo buses. You can also drive them with the B category license. Here we can also talk about different type of engines. So I will start with the petrol one. Petrol engine is a very good one, but the fuel is very expensive, and the main thing that maintenance is not so expensive. So in that case, if you still want to not waste a lot of money for this car maintenance, better to buy the petrol one. Diesel is otherwise. Fuel is very expensive. Diesel is very not very expensive, and but maintenance of the engine is a little bit more expensive in that case. So you have to consider that, because the construction of the diesel engine is more and more complicated. So yeah, especially in Estonia, diesels are very popular because fuel is basically cheaper and more comfortable for most of the people. Also, we have gas engines. For example, Volkswagen makes a lot of cars with the gas engines. For example, Volkswagen Golf, this is the model of the car. And also you should understand that gas is also included with the petrol engine, with the casual one. So basically you have two types of engines and two types of fuel, but still in that case you have less consumption because cars mostly use gas, and gas is a lot cheaper, like half cheaper than petrol. So that's why people also prefer gas engines. Hybrid is my favorite one. I can say it's the better choice in that case. It's also a combination of petrol engine and electric engine. So petrol engine charges the battery during the driving, and in some points system use batteries and not using the petrol at all. So that's why it's also less expensive and very comfortable. But you also should understand that this kind of systems like gas and hybrid, they cost originally they cost more than casual petrol engine car, for example, or diesel engine car, and you should understand that. But of course, after some years, you will win on it. Actually, if you will waste more money on buying the car like this, like hybrid car with the hybrid car system, so after some years you will win on that because you will make some economy, let's say, on fuel. So you should consider these things as well. And electric engines, they are not very popular in Estonia, I can say, because we don't have a lot of charges for them, and they're also very expensive. But still, yeah, people use it. It's very comfortable. The only thing we should mention here that if you charge the car, you only have around 300 or 400 kilometers to drive. So it's not quite much, right? So that's why people don't like it. It's not very comfortable in that case. Also, I will show you the video. So here we can check the video and you can see how the car engine works. We're not going to check it during this lesson. I will leave this link below the video. Of course, you will check it later if you are interested. So it's the description on observation how the petrol engine works generally. Like pistons, moving valves, and how the explosion happens inside of these pistons and tubes. So all the things you should understand how it works, so it will be easier for you also to drive actually the car, because you understand the system and how the system works. So I will leave this link below this lesson video, and please check it. So here we have a small description how the petrol engine works and diesel engine works. So in petrol engine in the spark ignition engine, the fuel is mixed with air and inducted into the cylinder during the intake process. After the piston compresses the fuel-air mixture, the spark ignites it. So basically, all happens with having the spark, and when spark making this, causing this combustion, so explosion, this piston starting to move, as I showed you just a little bit in the previous video. And the expansion of the combustion gases pushes the piston during the power stroke. So the strokes are moving the engine and the car generally after that. So this is small description. And diesel engine takes air, compress it, and then injects fuel into the compressed air. So basically, in that case, we also have spark plugins, but not spark. They are these plugins that are heating the compressed air inside of this engine, and that's why happens this how to say, piston pushing. And the heat of the compressed air ignites the fuel spontaneously. So the heat, yeah, and this is spark plugins. They are just heating this compressed air inside. And a diesel engine does not contain a spark plug, so it's a casual heating plug. We'll also talk about this a little bit later, why it's important to know. I will explain you later. Also, here we have the transmission system, so it's very interesting. If you are driving a manual car, you have to understand the basics, how it works. So basically you have a clutch pedal and the clutch system. So this clutch system has two discs. One disc is connected from other side. You cannot see it here maybe very well. So this other disc connected with the engine, other disc is connected with the wheels. So if very basically, I will explain you how it works. So as soon as you push the clutch pedal down, you disconnect these two discs, and engine is not rotating the wheels anymore. When you release the clutch, this disc, like clutch, goes up, you connect these two discs, and engine is rotating the wheels. And that's why, so basically the engine disc is always rotating, but the wheel disc is not. Sometimes it stands steady. And that's why if you release the clutch very fast, this engine rotating disc will connect the wheels very fastly, and it will shut down because car is staying, it's not moving. So this is the basic system, how it works. Of course, I also leave you the video how it works more in details. So later you can check this video, you will see how the gearbox works and this clutch system works and all the things. So it will be more useful and very interesting for you in that case. So automatic gearbox is mostly the same system, but these discs and things, they are changing automatically. You don't have any clutch system. You just have a brake pedal, so you push the brake, change the gear like reverse or drive or neutral or parking mode, and just drive. So you release the pedal and car goes automatically in the way you want. So what should you know about your car? Of course, you have to know the main things, like where your car was maintained before you. If you buy an old car, for example, when you have to change some things like brakes, maybe pads, and maybe oil also. So you should always be aware like what you have changed in car, in what condition your car details in some parts. So it's very important always to know that. So before you buy a car, you also should check some, for example, history book, some maintenance history book. Some cars have it. So you know like what exactly was changed and what exactly you should change now. So if you don't have it, it will be very difficult for you to understand. And that's why sometimes people use diagnostics in some official dealerships. So diagnostic can say what you should change. Even before you buy a car, you actually can use this service. It will be very profitable, especially if car is expensive. So these things you should consider, of course. Buttons and functions. Also on the exam, by the way, it's also very important to know the main buttons and functions, how they work. So for example, they can ask you how to use the windshield warming. So you can see this button, you push it, it's starting to warm that. If it's rear window warming, the same. You should understand the button and where it's located. Also, sometimes they can ask you how to turn on the AC, so air conditioner. You can see this button here, the green, and if you turn it on, it will be green. So let's check the video, and we will see some main buttons. So here you can see the light system turning on. In different cars, it's in different positions, but still you just need to understand, let's say, the pictures of these different lights types. So on the first lesson, usually teacher explains all these lights also. You can see also these lights on the panel. For example, this is front fog light, this is rear fog light, side lights are on. So these buttons you should and indicators you should remember. Turning on the indicators, it's a handle on the left side. So down it's left indicator, if up it's right indicator. On the right side of the wheel we have wipers. So in different cars it works differently, so if you want to clean it, you put it up or down. Also, this is the system of fan system, and you see if you are a little bit foggy inside, you should understand how to heat it. That's why we need to use this windshield warming. You see the front and the rear one also, and it will be heated and the fog will be deleted. So these things they can ask you on the exam, so be aware of that also. I will also leave the video link under our lesson, so you will check it later. So diesel engine starting procedure. So I was talking about the heating system and the heating plug-ins inside of the engine. So this is the indicator on the panel. Some diesels have it, and you also on the exam, actually theory exam, it can be asked for what reason this indicator needed. So now I will explain you. Basically, before you start your car, you have to heat these plug-ins first with your battery. That's why you turn the keys. You see that this lamp is basically turned on. It means it's heating. As soon as it disappears on the panel, it means that plug-ins are already heated, and you can start the engine after that. So until it's not heated, you cannot start it. You physically can do that, but you can damage something in your engine, so that's why better not to do that. So yeah, try to remember, it's the heating system, so heating for plug-ins, or we can also say candles in casual language. And it's very important to know that. It exists only on the diesel engine, so on petrol we don't have it. We also have a fuel indicator. On the exam they can ask you how much fuel do you have in your tank, so you can say in that case it's 25%. Full F means like full, E means empty, sometimes it can be R. R means refuel, so just have to tell them like you have 25% or 50% or 75 or 100% of fuel inside, so it's quite much. This arrow means here that this filling tube is on the left side of the gas tank of your car. So if you don't remember where it's located, you can always look at your fuel indicator. You will see this arrow. It means on the left side. If there is no arrow like this, it means it's on the right side. So also we should know the difference between these two types of petrol. It's 98 and 95. And the main difference that it's the octane number. So it means the one is more powerful than another one. So if you have more powerful engine in your car, you better use this. You better use 98 octane number fuel. If it's not so powerful, you can use 95. So yeah, of course you can also mix them. It's not a problem because both of them are petrols. So if you mix them, you will get 97 or 96. It's not a big problem. But of course you can never mix the petrol and diesel fuels. It's totally different fuel types and engines, as you understand. So you can damage your car a lot if you mix these fuels. So yeah, usually if you open the tank door on the right side or left side, you will see what kind of fuel you can use. So it will be not very difficult to understand what you can use. Sometimes it's even written like no diesel on some cars. So it will be very easy to understand that. How can you lock the steering wheel? It's also very easy. Some cars, even the old ones, they have this system. So basically you have to turn off the engine, you have to take out the keys from your locker, and then you have to turn your wheel a little bit sharply left or right, like strongly, and you will feel that your wheel is blocked, and you will not don't have to do anything more. So it will be hard to steal your car after that. How can you open the bonnet? You also can see some small pictures here. Usually you open it from the inside of inside of the car. So behind the wheel, on your seat, you have this special handle. You just put it and bonnet is open. But after that, you also should push another button under the bonnet, outside. For example, this or somewhere there. And then it will be open. So I will show you a small video about that. So let's check again the same car. You can see this handle. So you push it and you open the bonnet. After that, you have to go to the bonnet and find the button under it. Usually it's here. You see this black locking system. So you have to feel it to push it like in some way, like left or right or up and down. And then the bonnet will be finally open. So here you also have washer fluid reservoir, so you can add some liquid for washing the windshield in that case. So you should also know where it's located. So you can see the windshield picture even here. And also we need to know how to check the oil level inside of the engine and how to add it. So if you want to add it, you have to do it here. The big cork you have to open and then add some oil there. Remember that engine don't have to be hot, it has to be warm and not cold also, so it should be warm. And dipstick, so the same. I will explain you later how to check the oil level, but you should see where it's located and how to put it off and back. So I talked about the fuel and other stuff. I will leave this video for you also. How can you check the oil level? Basically, you already know where's the dipstick located. First of all, you need to know that your car is warm, not hot again. So you can start it, work for 5 minutes, and then turn your car off in the morning. And then you can check the oil level. So you put this dipstick out, clean it with the napkin, then put it back and put it out again. And you will see the clear level of your oil in that moment. So you have two dots usually on the left and the right. So the left one is the minimum, the right one is the maximum. So you see it's almost minimum here. Here you can see it's almost maximum. So oil has to be almost at the maximum level. Cooling system. Also we have a reservoir especially for this system, and you always have to check that it's quite enough liquid there inside. It can be also rosa like here or green sometimes. So depending on this liquid, you also can add it. But never open this reservoir if your car is warm or hot. It has to be totally cold, then you can open it, because this cooling system has a very high temperature of working. It's around 90 degrees. So generally we need this cooling system for cooling the engine, as you understand. And engine cannot work always and being in normal net temperature, so that's why it has to be cooled. And that's why we have the system, so we will talk about this. So basically we have also radiator, and this liquid goes to radiator, and air outside also goes inside of this system. So two things are basically cooling down the engine at once. So you see liquid goes inside of the radiator, it's cooling down. This liquid I mean, and this liquid goes to the engine, as you see here. It's cooling the system, and after that liquid is already hot and going back to the radiator to be cooled again. So this is the circle of the cooling system. Small circuit of the cooling system. So if it's not very hot outside, it will be working like this, and only small circuit will be used. If it's basically hot outside and also engine is very hot, it will be used, all circle will be used in that case with radiator also, and system will be cooling the engine. You can also see this indicator on some panels, of the dashboards. You can see this indicator which shows you that it's average. Sometimes it's also degrees are written here. So you have to understand that 90 degrees is a casual working temperature, not more or less than that. If it's more, then you have a problem with the cooling system and you have to fix it as soon as possible. So here you can see the suspension system, some absorbers, and at the all wheels. And always it's very important to feel like if something is knocking the suspension, yeah, if you drive. So if you feel some weird knocks, it means that it's not correct and you have to fix it. So driving always has to be smooth without any like hard knocks or something like that. Braking system, also very important system. It's quite interesting system how it works actually, but it's very old. I'm still not understand why it's used, but we still use the system that were created a lot of years ago. So I will try to explain you the basics. So we also have a liquid in the system. You also have a reservoir special for that, like for braking liquid. So as soon as you press the pedal, this liquid goes to the system and makes the brakes work. So how it works, basically liquid goes to the discs. You see every wheel has the disc with the pads, this one, and this is the pad. So as soon as liquid goes inside, pads are working and they block the disc and car starts to brake. So everything works with the liquid. So as soon as you have some leak in any of these tubes, whole system is not working. So that's why it's quite dangerous to have these leaks or something. And that's why you always have to be sure that braking system is working correctly. What should you do if the engine is overheated? For example, the cooling system is not working. First of all, of course, you have to turn off the car. But for example, if you need to move and fix this sooner, in that case, you can use desalated water. So you can add it inside of the cooling system and at least drive for maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour until the service, if you reach it. But yeah, if there is no any liquid inside of the cooling system, no water, no coolant fluid, so it's not allowed to drive. You will basically kill the engine. So that's why it's not very good. So nowadays, harmful components of the exhaust gas is normalized. This 1 year technical control that you have to pass, also checking your exhausts and how many CO2 you are making if you drive your car. So it's also regulated by the European Union and some installations. So that's why it's getting better. And nowadays it's quite good also. Can the water pooling out of the exhaust system be the sign of some technical issue? How do you think? Of course not. It's usually condensate water inside. So you have to understand that inside of the tube, it's very warm of the exhaust system. Outside, it's very cold. So for example, in winter. And that's why condensate is gathering inside of the tube. And after you put some gas, the water flying out of it. So it's not a technical issue. Can you name maybe these signs? So obviously trunk is open. Here you have some battery issues or electric system issues also. This one, tire pressure level is too low. Oil exchange should be done, or you have to add some oil. Handbrake is on, this sign means. So it means that you have to, for example, if handbrake is off, not on, and still this lamp is on, it means you have some problems with the braking system. So you have to check the liquid in that case. And ABS system is not working. So here you can see other signs, and let's observe them also. So this one you already know, like heating candles or plugins. Traction control is off. Check engine. Temperature level of your coolant system is too high, so better not to drive this car. High beam is on, front fog light and rear fog light is on, so all these lights. Check engine sign, causes and some solutions. So basically, if you have a check engine sign, it means that maybe you are using bad fuel, quality is bad. Engine candles or plugins are not working, not all of them, or they're not good. Ignition coil is not working, catalyzer, fuel pump or fuel filter, and cables. So of course, if you have this sign, it's better to, as soon as possible, to check it in the service. Sometimes also you can see the condensate and water under the car in summer. If you are using conditioner, you will see it. The same logic like with the tube, exhaustion tube. If it's very hot outside and cold inside, this water gathers inside of the system and this condensate and going down. So it's not a technical issue, you should understand that also. It's just conditioner working inside of your car, AC. So now we are going to talk about the tire types. Basically we have three main types, like summer tires, all-season, winter tires. Winter tires we have two types also. We can divide in two types, like lamella tires and studded tires. So lamella ones, they have less noise, more stable on the snow. So studded tires, more noise, more stable on the ice. So this is the difference you can see here. This is studs inside of the tires. All seasons, of course, you can use all the time, but I don't really recommend it because all seasons are like not so good, especially the winter like we are having. They are not like catching the snow so well like casual winter tires. But yeah, if we don't have, let's say, snowy winter, you can use all season. These things you should remember. Even on the exam you can be asked like when it should be used, winter tires for example. So winter tires must be used starting from 1st of December till the 1st of March. Studded tires can be used starting from 15th of October till the end of March. In winter conditions this period can be longer, of course. So you should understand the main thing that must and can. So must be starting from 1st, so it can be lamella or studded tires. But studded can be used starting from 15th of October. Also you can use all season, but then you don't have any time limitations, of course. So M plus S, it means all season tires actually. So if you want to buy them, you just have to look for the sign on the tire itself. This also can be asked on the exam, minimum requirements for the tires. Like the minimum tread depth of a tire must be 1.6 millimeters in summer and 3.0 millimeters in winter. So this you should know. Also on the theory exam can be asked, and on the driving exam, examiner can ask you about that. Minimum requirements for the tires, also you can see different numbers on the tire and you can understand what is the logic. So 99 means max load on the wheel, 755 kilograms. W means max driving speed, 270 kilometers per hour. R, 17, means the radius of the tire, but not the tire, but the disc. So this one also the length of the tire, and this one is the width of the tire. So you can see different measurements. Air pressure influence, low pressure, high pressure, normal pressure. You can see how it can change your tire if you are driving with not correct pressure. So now we have low pressure, and you see the tire consumption is on the left and right side. High pressure tire consumption is in the middle. Normal pressure, so all the tire is used. So air pressure influence on braking distance. So correct tire pressure. Yeah, if you have 2.4 bars, it's the casual one for all cars, like 2.2 or 2.4. So it's 52. If you have less, then it's 56. So also it's very important for safety to have the correct pressure inside of the tires. Can I drive my car when the tire has a problem? Yes, if it's not leaking a lot. We can drive until the service at least. If you see that your tire is still full of air and not leaking, it's still possible to drive like this. So some people even drive for months like this, like very long time. Also, you can check that if you put some water on the pound, you will see that it's having bubbles. Yeah, so. If it's having a lot of bubbles, means yeah, it's a quite big leak and better not to drive with this. Wheel exchange. So you have to understand where is located the spare wheel. Usually it's in the trunk, of course. Sometimes it's normal, full wheel behind, but sometimes it's special spare wheel, like small one. We call it bonnet. it has even its own limitation, like speed limitation. You can drive with this kind of a donut only 60 kilometers per hour. They are very small wheels, like for bicycles, even, yeah, we can say. And they are not very good for driving, actually. But yeah, if you just need to reach the service, you can use this kind of donut wheels. Repair kit, also some cars have its compressor and glue, jack and wheel chocks, obviously, and anti-theft nuts. So they have special insert for this wheel removement. Power steering system, also you have to understand that it's kind of system that allows you to turn easily in every way if you are even standing. This system is having the special small engine inside that allows you to make a turn easily. So that's why don't think that it's so simple. Yeah, the system of steering wheel is very simple. It's actually not so. Back in the days, there was no any power steering system before 90s, I can say. So it was very hard to turn the wheels. Yeah, so people were like suffering for some years. But after that, the system was created. Yeah, so this engine inside allows you to turn the wheel, and it helps you to turn the wheel in different ways. So yeah, also pneumatic system is inside, and all together basically helps you to drive the car. If the car has a dangerous malfunction, then it's prohibited to use it while driving. For example, the braking system is leaking, power wheel steering system is not working, fuel leaking, seatbelt lockers are not working, stop signals are not working, exhaust gas system has a leak. So in that situations, you cannot drive your car. It's forbidden for the vehicle to move under its own power if the driver's windscreen wiper will not operate during rain or snowfall. So if your wiper is not working, you cannot drive the car. The heater does not guarantee the transparency of the windscreen within the operating range of the driver's windscreen wiper. So if your heating system, this windshield heating system and the rear also, if the windshield is not working, heating system is not working, you cannot drive as well. Car equipment, it's mandatory to have chocks, warning triangle, fire extinguisher, medical kit. And not mandatory is the reflector jacket, additional spare wheel, and repair kit. Registration plate. The registration plate of the motor vehicle must be clean and legible, so it must be visible from some distance, yeah, during the day and nighttime. So during the daytime it's 40 meters, during the nighttime it's 25 meters. So other people, for example, policemen, also have to see it. If it's not visible, they can give you the penalty also. So the last topic for today, we are going to talk about towing of power-driven vehicle. So there are different hitches for towing, like flexible hitch, hardwire hitch, and direct hitch. So if it's flexible, it's a rope. Hardwire, it means like some metal stick maybe. And direct hitch is like small trailer on another car, so you can put it. Only if a direct hitch that guarantees the steerability for drone powered vehicle is used, the driver does not need to be present in the drone powered vehicle. So basically, if you have direct hitch, basically this direct hitch allows you for another car to drive the towing car, yeah, the drone car. It means that the driver in the behind car in this one should not be in that case. If we have a direct hitch, it should not be inside of the car. A flexible hitch must leave a distance of 5 to 8 meters between the vehicles, and the middle part of the thereof must be marked so that it's clearly visible. Like usually it's white red sign used. So 5 meters at least. The length of direct hitch might not exceed 5 meters. It's not allowed to use a chain for drawing. So 5 meters cannot be exceeded, and it's also not allowed to use a chain, obviously. A power-driven vehicle that is being drawn must always have emergency lamps switched on, and in the absence of the emergency lamps, or if they do not function, a warning triangle must be fixed in a visible place on the drone power-driven vehicle. So it means if you cannot turn on the emergency lights on the both sides, you should use the warning triangle. So usually if you open your trunk, you can put the triangle on your trunk also. The speed of the drone vehicle may not exceed the speed limit 50 kilometers per hour. So even if you are driving on the highway, you cannot go 90 or 110, you can go only 50. On the motorway, towing is prohibited. On the motorway, if the need of drawing appears on the motorway by way of exception, drawing may be performed until the nearest turn off. So as soon as you are on the motorway and you are starting to make this towing, you have to leave the motorway as soon as possible. You cannot drive on the motorway. But as you remember, in Estonia we don't have any motorways, but in other countries like Germany, Austria or Spain we have them. So yeah, basically this thing you should remember. With a flexible hitch on a glare ice, or if the drone powered vehicle combination of vehicles or combination of tractors has a malfunctioning steering wheel or malfunctioning brakes. So basically towing is prohibited on the glare ice, or if the braking system or the steering system is not functioning correctly in your car. So in that case, you cannot make this towing on a flexible hitch. Also prohibited two-wheeled vehicles to draw. Yeah, obviously you cannot use the motorcycle behind. If more than one power gen vehicle being drawn at the time, so you cannot draw like 3 vehicles at once, only one. If the coupling device of a drawn combination of vehicles is malfunctioning, so this is the coupling device here, or also here. All these are coupling devices. If they're not functioning, you cannot make this towing. Okay guys, so that was the last slide. Thank you for your attention. I will leave all the links for the videos to watch behind this video. Please leave your comments and put likes. We really appreciate that. Thank you once again and see you soon. Bye bye.